Everyone loves combos, and luckily Strixhaven brings us to Proctor, which says counter the triggered abilities of permanents unless his controller pays 2. There are a lot of ETB abilities in Modern, so whichever ones our opponents have, Strict Proctor will hurt them. But in addition, we have Kroxa. When Kroxa enters, we sacrifice it, but because that's a triggered ability, Strict Proctor will counter it. So in other words, turn 2 Proctor, and turn 3 Kroxa. Now this Kroxa interaction is not new. We've had other cards like Strict Proctor, but for the longest time Uro was in the format, and if we shut off ETB abilities on turn 2, our opponent would just play Uro on turn 3. And that sucks balls. But as of recently, Uro has gone to Jesus, so unless our opponent has a Kroxa of their own, we be chillin'. But what makes Strict Proctor extra gangster is that it says permanents and not creatures, which means it also combos with Aria of Flame. It sees some play in Storm decks, and used to see a lot of play in Is It Phoenix decks, because it says whenever you cast instant or sorcery, put a counter on Aria of Flame, and deal that much damage to target player or planeswalker. So in a deck with cheap card draw, Aria of Flame starts to deal a lot of damage really quickly. But the big downside though is that when it enters, our opponent gains 10 life, except if Proctor's out, in which case our opponent gains 0 life. I think that's pretty cool. And to make Aria of Flame worth it, we have a lot of cheap spells, including card draw, discard, Raven's Crime for late game, removal, more card draw, and reanimate. Because we'll be casting so many instant and sorcery spells, we have Pyromancer. It's all pretty good synergy, because if we're dumping stuff in graveyard, it also helps us reanimate Kroxa. That is the deck. Now here's the sideboard. We have chonky creature hate, a lot of red hate, graveyard hate, land hate, and basically everything hate. That is the deck. Now let's get to the gameplay. Be extra sure to subscribe, because early Modern Horizons 2 content is coming very soon, as well as free giveaways, and you definitely don't want to miss that. But without further ado, here's gameplay, and I hope you enjoy. Opening hand, we have a nice curve. Turn 1, turn 2, and then turn 3. So we're gonna keep Utopia Sprawl. Oh, and Pyromancer. I think the priority here, Proctor, and pass it back. What is these? Oh, a Blood Moon. I forgot about that. But at least we have Manamorphose. And now play Aria of Flame. Opponent gains 10 life. Oh, wait. No, they don't. Swing for 1. And back to opponent. And out of anger, opponent lightning bolts. So Proctor goes to Jesus. What is these? Brennan 6. Everyone's favorite planeswalker. And can deal 1 damage to any target. So it could take out Pyromancer. And that would be bad. So maybe we should just wait till we get our 4th land. Yeah, it's unfortunate. We'll pass it back. And they keep getting back lands from graveyard. Oh, and Bloodbraid Elf. Finding Arbor Elf. Come on, land. No land, but that actually might do. Oh, and I just remembered, Aria of Flame can hit planeswalkers. That's pretty gangster. And another land, nice. Pyromancer, then Manamorphose, making double black. Oh, and Kroxa. But how about Cling the Dust, finishing off Ren, Crash through, nice. And Fatal Push, dealing 4 damage to our opponent. How wonderful. Oh, they pillaged our land. We draw this. And now Crash through, dealing 5. Oh, and Lightning Bolt, dealing 9. Hooray! So we're going to game 2. I'm going into game 2. Let's dump all this for all this, and with that, let's go to game 2. Opening hand is not the best. 4 lands and everything. But since our opponent has land destruction, 4 lands seems okay, so we're gonna keep. We pull Fatal Push. And what? Opponent is passing back? Why? Alright, this probably won't work, but Pyromancer? And where is that Lightning Bolt? No Lightning Bolt. Interesting. So then Renin 6? Nope, just a Flame Slash. We pull Strict Proctor, and now pass back. Oh, that's Blood Moon. Draw a land, and another land. So swing for 1, and pass back. That's not good. Whenever we cast instant or sorcery, opponent makes a 1/2 spatter with reach. We do a Fatal Push, but since we're unable to fetch, it's not doing us much good. Opponent plays Utopia Sprawl, and Karn, putting Worm Coil Engine in hand. Well, this is quite unfortunate, but all Akbar Karn. A lot of opponent takes it. Oh boy. And pass it back. Yep. I think our opponent's got us here, but play Pyromancer, hit Karn, and come on, take out one of our permanents. Oh, opponent sacks Karn, put Flagship in hand, and oh, a Lightning Bolt. I guess that's what we wanted, because now Fatal Push. Now 2 Lightning Bolts, we could take out the engine. The Flagship, though, that will be a problem. Okay, Lightning Bolt, Bolt again, and Pyromancer goes to Jesus. And yep, we're not getting out of this one, so we're gonna have to take it to game 3. Oh, game 3, no change to sideboard. And this looks pretty good, so we're gonna keep. Start with Inquisition. Oh boy. Blood Moon is a problem, so is Bone Crusher. But we could just play around Blood Moon, so we'll take Bone Crusher. Opponent plays Arbor Elf, we find a Bolt, but just Pyromancer. And now they have Blood Moon. But too bad for our opponent. Manamorphose. And do we Manamorphose again? Yeah. Finding Crash Through. Oh, and Strict Proctor. I was planning on using Fatal Push here. I think Proctor makes more sense. Swing for 2, and just pray they don't have anything big this turn. Opponent bolts, but then they're passing back. Another Manamorphose. Play Manamorphose. Another Young Pyromancer. And push. Swing for 5. And back to opponent. Oh, opponent has seasoned Pyromancer. They discard 2 and draw 2. Now they have 2 tokens. Let's go ahead and bolt. Oh, and a Crash Through until land. And this is kind of tough. We attack with everything this turn, and they block the Pyromancers. They go down to 2. So yeah, and indeed they're going to 2. How will our opponent get out of this one? Oh, that's how they just concede. Okay, so it's on to the next match. Opening hand, very land heavy, but we'll keep. Oh, and it looks like we're up against Is It Blitz. We shall Inquisition. Oh, we're gonna undo. They can draw cards, but early game it's not that good. We'll just take Bolt, and then we'll pass back. Opponent plays Manamorphose. Slide a hand to draw a card, and another Soulscar Mage. Another land. Meh. We'll just play it safe and Bolt now, and then pass back. Opponent draws. Ooh, Lava Shard. We take 3, and a Crash Through. Well, like Kroxa, opponent discards a land. We shall play land tapped and pass back. Opponent draws again, basically drawing 2 cards again. They play Monastery, draw a card. Oh, Mutagenic Growth. And with Lava Shard in graveyard, they have lethal. So we're going to game 2. And going into game 2, we're bringing in a lot. Dumping our slower cards for Path Exile and Life Gain. With that, let's go to game 2. Opening hand is terrible. mole. And yeah, turn 2 Firewalker will keep. Something, Path, play Soulscar Mage. Oh, another Firewalker. Manamorphose, drawing a Sacred Foundry, nice. Play Firewalker, and pass back. I'll play Sprite Dragon. Its flying is kind of annoying. Oh, another Manamorphose. We'll save it for next turn. Firewalker number 2, swing for 2, and pass back. Oh, that opponent draws. Why? I'll play Monastery, tickling us for 1. Might as well draw another land. So we'll Manamorphose, and another Inquisition. Okay, play 1. Oh, Lava Shard and Bedlam Reveler. That's kind of annoying. Alright, take the Lava Shard. Play Kroxa. Oh, and there's a Concede. Okay. I mean, we were at 22 life, so we'll have to settle things in game 3. Opening hand, we have a Firewalker. Although without Manamorphose, we'll be losing a lot of life, but we'll keep. I'm gonna play Soulscar. Oh, and look at that. Since we're on the draw, we probably shouldn't risk shocking, so we'll grab basics instead. Inquisition, and dang, their hand's packed. They're relying on 1 land, but if they pull a second land, they can mutagenic growth, and then play Stormwing for 2. Interesting. We'll have to take Monastery, buy some time, and we'll pass back. Gonna draw Lava Shard, and then on our turn, Mountain, Manamorphose, double white, and Firewalker. Hooray! Opponent's passing back. They're still on 1 land, and this might be our chance to gamble. It's an Inquisition. They have card draw in hand. Do we want them to keep that? I'd really like to take the Stormwing instead, but we can't. Yeah, we'll take the card draw, and then risk it and shock, playing Kroxa. Opponent discards growth, and we'll pass it back. And opponent's still on 1 land. The magic gods are truly on our side. And now it's time to clap. Kroxa. And our opponent says their butt cheeks have had enough. We got pretty lucky, but if the magic gods want to bless us, then I'll take it. And now we on to the next spanking. Opening hand, we have the combo, so we're gonna keep. Opponent plays a land and passes. Oh, an Inquisition. Did we just play Proctor now? No, we should play Inquisition first, and this be pretty stinky. We'll play Brand 6 next turn, but if we want to play Proctor, we'll have to take the bolt, although they could just double up on these 2 and finish off Proctor that way. But what can you do? And there be Renin 6, returning their land to hand, but Proctor, and pass it back. And they do play Prismari Command, finishing off our Proctor. That puts us in a bad situation, but we'll eat their land, another Kroxa, and a land, but it comes into play tapped. The best option might be to play Aria of Flame, but if they have Cryptic Command, it might just bounce it to hand, but we'll try it. Opponent goes to 24, and we'll pass back. Uh-oh, Dwarven Mine, putting a land back in hand. Does that mean they can get Emrakul this turn? Yep. Oh, not Emrakul. Velomachus. When our opponent attacks, they look at the top 7 cards of the library and play an instant sorcery that costs 5 or less. They're getting Time Warp, so they'll be taking an extra turn. Opponent swings again, finding another Time Warp. Now Prismari Command. In this turn, they have Lethal. So we're going to game 2. I'm going into game 2. I was bringing this for this, and without, let's go to game 2. Opening hand is pretty underpowered, but we'll try it. Thoughtseize. Oh my gosh, their hand is terrible. We'll take the bolt. Not that our hand is much better. Ooh, that's pretty good. Play Pyromancer and pass back. Opponent now passes back. By his Guile, not bad. We shall Manamorphose. Another Guile. But play Proctor. Swing for 2. And now back to opponent. Opponent takes an extra turn, which allows him to play another land. But now for us, bolt. And we be packing. Swing for 5. And back to our opponent. Oh, scary Teferi. Well, it's Guile now. Exile the graveyard to make a token. Opponent bounces our Proctor. But Teferi out is very, very dangerous. How about we play Crash Through? Another Proctor. Let's say 3 at Teferi and 3 at opponent. Teferi goes to Jesus. And instead of Proctor, let's keep our Path to Exile at the ready. Dwarven Mine makes a token. Tempting to path now, but we'll wait. Oh, will they try and target it? No, they play Time Warp. But we'll take an extra turn. Oh, what? They're passing back. Interesting. Land. Swing with everyone. Oh, Prismari Command. Okay. Well, what happens if we path to exile? The Aether gets 1 of our tokens? Sure. The opponent goes to 1. They get another token. And one of their targets is a treasure token. Sure. Oh, that dirty. We'll let them attack. Oh, and an extra turn. That's gotta be the end for us. We'll make a token and have them sack. They sack the Emrakul. We'll then soak up the damage and just pray they whiff. Please find nothing. A Prismari Command, but they don't have enough for lethal. They will draw 2 and discard 2 as well. Guess they're hoping to find a lightning bolt. No, they don't, because they fetch and concede. So miraculously, we're going to game 3. Oh, game 3, no change to sideboard. And no lands, we're gonna have to mull. Okay, fine, I guess. Pull path, and we'll draw. We pull a land. Someone plays a land untapped and passes. Very suspicious. So Proctor, and not surprisingly, our opponent counters. Oh, our opponent growth spirals. Kroxa, nice. So we'll play Proctor, and we'll keep Path Exile at the ready. Opponent plays a mine tapped. Very suspicious. And now this be a tough one. Kroxa is probably the safest move, so we'll try for that. And what do you know? Kroxa hits. Swing for 1. Land tap. And at the end of turn, opponent plays Prismari Command. Drawing 2, discarding 2, and making a token. Emrakul goes to graveyard. And now do they have the combo? They just pass it back. Okay. We shall swing. Opponent discards. And oh, lightning bolt. And I think we gotta keep our lands open, so we'll pass it back. Oh, but another Prismari Command. Making another token. And one of the cards they discarded was Creativity. Does that mean they have a second one? They must. They take an extra turn. They play another land in shock. And now this be interesting. Opponents destroying our Kroxa. We'll get a random creature from our deck, and they'll get Emrakul and Velomachus. We find a Proctor, but Path here and Guile, making them sack Emrakul. Fabulous. Many options. But how about we force discard? Discard that. We'll bring back Kroxa. Swing for 2. And at 4 life, can our opponent come back? They're just passing it back. Very suspicious. We shall swing. Oh, and opponent bolts himself. So in the end, we win the match. And it's always nice to see new decks in the metagame. But now it's on to the next match. Opening hands, very land heavy. But we do have the combo, so we're gonna keep. Oh, and it looks like a Lantern deck. Oh, interesting. Play Proctor. Oh, and they have Lantern. Now they can filter the top card of our library. library. But play Kroxa, swing for 1, opponent Thoughtseizes, and as long as opponent doesn't find Ensnaring Bridge, we should be okay. Swing, opponent discards a land, goes to 7, and we'll play the Flame. Oh, Pithing Needle. I suppose we should fetch now. And oh, Ensnaring Bridge. That is bullying. Well, we might be here a while, so I'll let you know if something happens. And finally, by turn 20, our opponent mills us out. Going into game 2, let's bring in this for this and without. Let's go to game 2. Opening hand, I'm not feeling it. That's what she said. We'll mull. Ew. One more mull. And yeah, this will do. Well, that's unfortunate. Oh boy. Manamorphose. And we do have Rip Apart. Oh, 2 ley lines out. Rip Apart doesn't really help us. Although we can take out Grafdigger's Cage. Play Pyromancer and pass back. Ashiok. So our graveyard's in trouble. But luckily we can take out Ashiok because Bolt, swing, and tempting to take out the Cage here. Especially with all the discard in their deck. Yeah, I guess we should. Even though Lantern's the real threat in their deck. Proctor. Swing for 4, and might as well make a token. Oh, there's Lantern. At least they don't have a Ensnaring Bridge yet, so there's still hope. Oh, an Academy of Ruins. And an Urza. Oh my gosh. With our last Rip Apart on top of our deck, they'll be discarding that. Play the Flame, and best move, I think we just got Allah Akbar here. Swing, 4 goes through. Second Lantern. Oh, and War of Invention. Finding another mill card. At least we have a flyer. Putting them at 5. And flyer again. Oh, they're paying 7 mana for this, which means they get back the fair. They're just gonna find an Ensnaring Bridge. Yeah. So sadly, our opponent has us locked, and that's the end of us. But now it's on to the next match. Opening hand, a lot of lands, so mull. And yeah, this is better. We'll keep. Our opponent probably has Lightning Bolt. We'll play Pyromancer. Oh, Lava Shard. That's even worse. Oh, another one. How about we first exile? Might as well Manamorphose and play Proctor. But they have a Bolt, and I can see why they have Pyromancer. And they don't put Firebolt in graveyard. We pull Aria of Flame, but now we shall Thoughtseize. Oh, and we screwed. Bolt stops Proctor, but with a 4th land next turn, they can just double stomp. So we'll take Bone Crusher, and instead of Proctor, we'll bite the Bolt and play Kroxa. Opponent swings, putting a Bosch in hand, and nice a land. So we'll get that Kroxa. Interesting, they dump Bone Crusher. Guess I'd rather have Lightning Bolt. Oh, and they draw Soul Scar. This is very tricky. We're gonna lose Kroxa no matter what. Might as well swing, and indeed they bolt Kroxa, but at least we take out their Bosch. Very well, Kroxa. Play Proctor and pass back. One plays out of stage, finding Lava Shard in a mountain. So they shard on the Proctor. I then swing for 5. Then they shard on us, putting us within bolt range. Gotta watch out for that Firebolt in graveyard. How about Proctor number 2? And then pass back. Opponent finds their 5th land, hitting us for 2. So we'll have to block like this. Oh, and cling to dust. Might as well play Flame, gain 3 life, and then send it back to opponent. Oh, what a monastery. We go to 2. Oh, this is tricky. We're really up against the wall here, but we do pull Lightning Bolt. Play another Aria, and we'll see if we can survive. And with a Flame Slash, nope. We're taking at least 4 damage this turn. So we're going to game 2. I'll spare you from having to endure game 2. We have Core Firewalker, and we need to get it out quickly. So we need those white lands, but our opponent has Blood Moon, and so we got spanked. So there we have it. The deck did okay, but there are certainly better ones out there. Don't forget to subscribe, and if you would like a deck box, they're available at decknet.com. But for now, that is all, and as always, I hope you have a great day.